Yeah, hi, I'm Asmita Hase. I've been working on Frappe HR since the last 7 months since I joined Frappe. And this is my first talk, so I'm a little nervous. So I started out building this leave adjustment tool, but then while I was building it, I quickly ran into some pitfalls, and today I want to talk about those pitfalls. Like, how do you think about solving a problem that I ran into? So it's more like building a leave adjustment and not the tool. So setting some context. So leave allocation is how Frappe HR allocates leaves to employees. And the leave allocation then creates an entry in the ledger. If you are familiar from accounts, ledger is basically a record of all the transactions that are related to, if it's accounts, then it's finance. In this case, it's leaves. So if you allocate 10 leaves, for example, if you allocate 10 new leaves, that means your balance has now 10 plus. So we just make an entry in the ledger with 10 plus. If you apply for 7-day vacation, then the entry is negative. If your leaves are expired, then a negative entry. If your leaves are carried forward to the next leave period, then a positive entry. And at the end, your ledger acts as the source of truth. So if you want to know what is the leave balance, you look at the ledger. And this is the reason it should not be tampered with. So leave ledger, like if you've noticed, if you've used Frappe HR, it does not let you edit or create any new ledger entries by yourself. All the ledger entries should be handled by all these doc types that you create, applications, allocations, etc. Right, so the problem, if you allocate any leaves, let's just say you allocate 30 leaves to your employees and later you realize maybe 30 wasn't the right number. Maybe you want to split that 130 leaves into 2 leave types. How do you reduce the numbers? So the obvious problem that I thought of solving the problem was, can I just use the leave control panel to update leave allocations? What is the problem with this though? So that way you can't keep any track record of all the updates you made to the leave allocation. So if, for example, you ended up updating leave allocations for 10 employees from 10 to say 20, the leave allocation doc type will show in the activity what change you made, but then good luck finding out if someone wants to reference for that change. You'll have to go to every leave allocation and check the activity, what was the leave that was changed. The other problem is, let's just say even that was a mistake and you want to revert that change back to the previous state. Now how do you, good luck finding all the allocations that you updated in the first place, and even then updating them, you'll have to do some mental calculation. Okay, I updated from 10 to 20, now what is the new allocation and how much, what is the new value that I need to update? Too much work, right? So what's the solution? So the solution is, you want a new doc type because you want to keep a track record that lives with every document. You also want this document to be submittable so that in future, if you want the state to be reverted, you can just cancel this document. And then this document also needs to hit your ledgers because now you're changing the leave balance. So yeah, let's build it. To save you the trouble of watching me click through a bunch of, so by the way, this is what the ledger looks like. This is the ledger for the year 2025 for the employee Jane Doe, and a positive entry for casual leave, positive allocation again for casual leaves. She took leave applications, she did an encashment of 10, and then again another leave type. So when you create ledgers this way and you want to check the balance, all you have to do is, let me just search. Yeah, all you have to do is take a sum of all your leaves and you get the balance. Simple calculations. Okay, so coming back to the leave adjustment doc type, I have already created one. We have selected a series that is mandatory with the option. The employee link, which will be linked to each employee. Employee name just fetches the full name of the employee from the same link so that you don't have to look at series and you can just look at the name of the employee. The posting date, it's the date that you adjust the leave on. It's important because you want to check the balance before even before you make any new allocations. Then the leave type that you're updating, the leave allocation that you're updating, both of these are links. The from date it's set to fetch, it's a read-only field. You don't need to update it. If you select any allocation, the from date is then taken from those leave allocations, both from and to date. And then the allocated leave also taken from the leave allocations. It is the leave that was allocated with that allocation, so that when you select any allocation, you see what was the number that you're about to update. You're probably seeing a field missing, which is like, where do I update? How do I update? So we'll quickly go ahead and add one. This will be a float field because our leaves are float. And I'll call it leaves to adjust. This should be a mandatory field. And I'll also update the label so that it's clear to the user what they are supposed to update. Plus the leave adjustment it could be positive, it could be negative. If you want to increase leaves, the user should be able to set a positive value. If you want to decrease, then a negative. So I'll just add a description that says, that makes it clear to the user. All right, and then let's just make it a little, so that the user looks at it before the rest of the stuff that maybe it's not that important. And then, like, this form looks a little crowded. Like, if you try to edit this form now, too many fields. So I'll just quickly go ahead and add another column, add another section. And we'll move all the leave allocation details to this new section, so that the form isn't as crowded. From date is important, to date is important, the new leaves allocated are important. And then the leave allocation should then also be, moved to its own section. Right. So now this looks a little easy to comprehend and look at. We'll go ahead and save it, and we'll go check the list of what the form looks like. Yeah, good enough. Now, we can't just go ahead and add it. We'll need some validations. What if the user puts 0 in the adjustment? So we'll go ahead and update the controllers. So the leave adjustment, so this is a Python controller that will control what the data, what to do with the data before you save it to the database. I'll add the validation, so we'll go with the first validation, which is validate. And then for now, I'll pass it, and we'll write some validation method. The first one we want is validate for zero value. So validate non-zero adjustment. And then this is pretty simple. All you want to do is check for leaves to reduce. If it's equal to 0, then you simply want to throw a validation. Enter a non-zero value, because we're also allocating. This is if. Okay, that was the most basic piece of validation. We'll add it to the validate method. Okay, next. If we are increasing leaves, in the leaf type we have a field max leave allocated, which says the maximum number of allocation you make for that leaf type. So when you are adjusting leaves, the final amount should not exceed the maximum that you set in the leaf type. So we'll validate for that too. So for this, we'll get the max leaves. And then this is simply fetched from the leaf type. Say which leaf to fetch from. And then the field we want to fetch. Okay. We'll also need to calculate the new allocation that we are about to make, which will be the allocation that we saw. So leaves allocated. Let me just verify the name of the field once. It's allocated leaves. Plus the one that we are about to edit. So these two adjust. And yeah, now we just check if the new allocation is greater than max leaves allowed. If that's true, then we throw another exception at the user. And then while throwing an exception, you want the user to know what exactly went wrong. So we'll try to give as much information as possible. So here I'll say the allocation is greater than the maximum maximum allowed, which is from the leaf type for leaf type. And then we'll format these with their values. And then we'll also bold them so that they stand out. We want the maximum allowed. And the second one is this leaf type. Okay. So this is done. Let's just go ahead and add this to our validation as well. Validate over allocation. There is one more. We have to do the exact same for the other kind. So if it's negative, you have to check the existing balance the employee already has. It should not, the employee should not end up with negative leaves. So we'll validate for leave balance. So for this, there is a function in leave type, leave application that we use, which just takes employees. I'll show the definition. It'll take employee leave type and date, and it will return the balance that employee has for that leave type on that date. And then, so this just makes our job a lot easier because I don't have to. All I have to do is get leave balance. Pass the employee link. Then the second is leave type. And finally the date that we want to, this will be the posting date, so which is set to default for today. self. All right. So this leave balance, if leave balance is less than, so since it's negative, we'll have to do absolute value of the self dot leaves to reduce. And then yet another validation. So this is allocation, the opposite is the reduction is less than. So we'll add employee's name directly. Available leave balance. What the leave balance is, and then for leave type. And then put all these values in the format. Leave balance. No, the first is self.employee's name. The second is the second one was leave balance. And the third one finally is leave type. Leave balances, so leave to reduce will be negative, right? Right, yeah. Yeah, thank you. Right, so the validations are in place. We'll put this in the validate method as well. Validate leave balance. So yeah, the validations are done. Let's just quickly go and check if those validations work. So we have, okay, this wasn't required. Yeah, fine. There's an employee who already has a leave allocation for casual leave. And I want to adjust, okay, I'll select the leave allocation as well. So the allocated leaves show up, from and date to show up. Now let's just try and, so the maximum leave for casual leave that you can allocate, what I've configured is 45. If I do something like 20, it should say, hey, you can't do this. Okay, object has no attribute leaves to reduce. Okay, what is the name of this? Okay, it took days too. I don't want the full name, so let's just get rid of this. Save. And now see if it works. Okay, I'll have to refresh this. Come on. ठीक है. Take 2. Oh, right. Is there anywhere else I've used leaves to reduce? Right. ठीक है. Okay, so the validation, one of the validations work. Let's do the other kind, which is, so the balance total is, I'm not sure, let's just do a very ridiculous amount of -50. Okay, the 23, it's So you can't reduce 50 from 23. Fine, those two work. Now, let's just check if we can at least, I want to reduce the leaves. It's minus. I should also be able to save this. Okay, I can save this. So now when I submit, I want the ledger to reflect the updated leaves. So let's just go ahead and write the hooks for that. First I'll create a generic create leave ledger function, which will take care of the submit and delete both. And then I'm going to pass the value of submit. So if submit is true, then go ahead and submit the entry. If submit is false, then whatever entry you have already for that leave allocation, go ahead and delete it, because we don't need it anymore. And then this should, so we already have create leave ledger entry function also that we use from leave ledger entry. Let's just go ahead and reuse that. So this function, it will take the reference document, which is the leave adjustment document that we just created. It will take the arguments that we want to update, and then the submit value. If it's submit, then we'll go ahead and submit it. If it's false, then delete the ledger entry. So from here, all these are taken, like once we pass the reference document, these values get updated anyway. What we are not setting carry forward or is expired, because the default values are exactly what we want. We do want to check if it's leave without pay though. So we'll check first if the current leave that we are dealing with is leave without pay. And then for that we'll do is leave without pay. And then let's just check the database once again. And the field that I want is leave without pay. All right, let's just define the also. So this function also takes arguments, right? We'll have to update those two. So let's just define those. We want to update leaves that we are just updating. This will be self leaves to adjust. All right. We also need to update the from and to date from the allocation. So we'll set those two. Self dot from date, and same goes for to date. And then finally is leave without pay. All right. The arguments are ready. Let's just call the function. So create leave ledger entry and pass the values to it. So our create leave ledger entry function is ready. By default is true, it's not required. So now when we submit the leave adjustment, we need to handle that case. So we'll define those hooks. So all we need to do is call this function that we just defined. And then pass the value of submit. Since we are submitting, the value would be true. On cancel, we'll do the exact opposite. Okay. Okay, so far looks good. Let's just see and check if it works. So this is submit. When I submit, I should be able to okay, this was submitted. Let's just check if my ledger also reflects it. So yeah, the adjustment was okay. So I had to go and check the leave ledger, right? It'd be a good idea if I had the ability to check the ledger from the document itself. So we'll go ahead and add the. So there is another leave generic utility of seeing the ledger with the filters set. So I'll just reuse this in the same form. Let's just uncomment this and leave utils, add view ledger. And all we need to do is pass the form. So now when I have the document in submit and state, I should be able to see the view ledger and it will show me the exact ledger entry that was added. Cool. Let's just also check if I can cancel this, because I should be able to. So when I cancel it, the leave ledger entry should go away. It will ask you to cancel all the ledger entries, because source of truth, right? You can't have one document without also not affecting the ledger. So we'll cancel all. And then let's go ahead and, yeah, so there's no adjustment. So at least the leave ledger now reflects what is going on with the leave balance. So this is the main. So now that we have the adjustment part of the leave, now we can do what I had initially in mind, which is to create a bulk of these documents using the leave control panel, and then you have a record of what allocations, what adjustments you did to which employees. You have the ledger reflecting your allocations, and you also have a way to do all of those operations in bulk. So yeah, that's now we can go and start doing the bulk adjustment. That's the crux of the talk. Thank you.